Hello everyone, and welcome to the Middle Ages channel. Today we're taking a stroll through the heart of any medieval town, the market square. Forget what you've seen in movies with pristine cobblestones and tidy stalls. The real medieval market was a chaotic, vibrant, and sometimes overwhelming sensory experience. So grab your coin purse, keep an eye out for pickpockets, and let's dive into the sights, sounds, and smells of a typical market day. Imagine waking up to the sound of church bells at dawn. That was the signal for the market to begin. From the countryside, farmers would be driving their carts laden with produce, their livestock trotting alongside. Inside the town walls, artisans and craftsmen would be setting up their stalls, arranging their wares, and getting ready for a long day of trade. The market square wasn't just a place to shop. It was the town's social media feed, its news hub, and its entertainment center, all rolled into one. Let's talk about what you could actually buy. First, the food. The air would be thick with the smell of freshly baked bread from the baker's stall, mingling with the less pleasant odor of the butcher hacking away at a side of beef. You'd see pyramids of seasonal vegetables like turnips, leeks, and cabbages, and baskets of some of apples and pears. Fishmongers would be shouting about their latest catch, a slippery pile of herring and eel glistening on their tables. And of course there was the alewife selling jugs of ale, the most common drink for everyone, including children, since water was often unsafe. But it wasn't just food. The market was a treasure trove of goods. The weaver would have bolts of rough woolen cloth, while a traveling merchant might display finer silks and linens from far-off lands. You could find the potter selling sturdy earthenware jugs and bowls. The blacksmith's stall would be a noisy affair, with the clang of hammer on anvil as he forged everything from nails to cooking pots. You could also buy leather goods from the tanner, belts, shoes, and pouches, though you'd have to hold your nose as the tanning process was notoriously smelly. One of the most important aspects of the market was regulation. You couldn't just sell whatever you wanted, however you wanted. Guilds played a huge role. The Bakers' Guild, for instance, would ensure that every loaf of bread was the correct weight and quality. Officials, sometimes called ale-conners or market masters, would patrol the square. They checked weights and measures to prevent fraud. If a baker was caught selling an underweight loaf, he could be punished severely, sometimes by being dragged through the streets with the bad bread tied around his neck. Quality control was serious business. The market was also a cacophony of sound. Merchants would be shouting, trying to attract customers with clever rhymes and loud proclamations about their goods. Fresh fish caught this morn. Strong leather for your soles. You'd hear the bleating of sheep, the clucking of chickens, and the squeal of pigs. Buyers would haggle loudly over prices, a back and forth dance of negotiation. In the background, you might hear the town crier ringing his bell and announcing the latest news, royal decrees, or upcoming events. It was a constant barrage of noise from dawn till dusk. Now let's talk about the people. The market square was a true melting pot. You'd see every level of society. A wealthy lady with her servant might be inspecting fine fabrics, careful not to get her long robes dirty in the muck. A humble peasant, having sold his surplus eggs, might be counting his pennies to buy a new tool. You'd see friars and monks begging for alms, and perhaps a group of knights passing through, their armor gleaming. And you had to be wary of the less savory characters, the pickpockets, the charlatans selling fake relics, and the gamblers running crooked dice games in a corner. Entertainment was another key feature. A troupe of traveling players might set up a makeshift stage to perform a morality play. A minstrel could be strumming a lute, singing songs of heroic deeds or lost love. You might even see a bear-baiting spectacle, a cruel but popular form of entertainment at the time. Jugglers, acrobats, and fire-eaters would perform for a few coins, adding to the festival-like atmosphere. For many people, a trip to the market was the most exciting part of their week. Let's not forget the justice system. The market square was often the site of public punishment. The stocks and the pillory were prominent features. A person found guilty of a minor crime, like public drunkenness or selling bad food could be locked in for hours, subject to the ridicule and taunts of the crowd. People would throw rotten vegetables, mud, and anything else they could find at the unfortunate culprit. It was a form of social control, a public shaming designed to deter others from similar offenses. As the sun began to set, the market would wind down. Merchants would pack up their unsold goods, farmers would head back to their farms, and the square would slowly empty. The town watch would begin its patrol, and a hush would fall over the once bustling space. The day's trading was done. Profits were counted, losses were lamented, and everyone prepared to do it all again the next market day. The medieval market square was so much more than a commercial center. It was the living, breathing heart of the community. It was a place of opportunity, social interaction, and survival. It was where you learned the news, saw justice meted out, and experienced the full spectrum of medieval life, from its most joyful moments to its harshest realities. It was a microcosm of the entire medieval world, packed into one chaotic, smelly, and utterly fascinating space. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. I hope you enjoyed our tour of the medieval market. If you found this interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the Middle Ages channel for more explorations of this incredible era. Let me know in the comments what part of medieval life you'd like to see next. Until then, stay curious.